Hello, I'm Dennis. I'm a novate in the order of bards, ovates and druids. Welcome to my channel. Here I talk about druidry, nature and magic. Magic. How mysterious and attractive this word is. It exudes antiquity and power. It can be easily combined with other words to enhance the glamour. For example, druid magic. But what if I told you that magic isn't what we believe it is? What if, having once changed its true appearance, magic managed to successfully disguise itself and got lost in endless translations and interpretations? What if it's been misleading us for a long time? And what if magic isn't the druid way? I often talk to people interested in druidry as a modern spiritual path who hesitate to admit that magic and ritual work isn't what appeals to them. It simply doesn't interest them enough. My understanding of magic has emerged over the years of practice, and in this video I'd like to share my current view on the subject. It all started several months ago when I decided to reread a Tolkien's letter. Any edition of the Silmarillion after 1999 includes Tolkien's letter 131 to Milton Wardman, a highly recommended reading. Among other things, in that letter, Tolkien sets out his view on magic. I remember when I first read that letter back in 2011, I really liked his thoughts about the otherness of elven magic, but I forgot the details over time. And now, after rereading the letter, I realized that initially I didn't quite understand what exactly Tolkien wrote about magic. His point wasn't just about the otherness of the magic of the elves. The point was much more profound. Now let me quote the relevant part of the letter. It, subcreative desire, may become possessive, clinging to the things made as its own. The subcreator wishes to be the Lord and God of his private creation. He will rebel against the laws of the Creator, especially against mortality. Both of these, alone or together, will lead to the desire for power, for making the will more quickly effective, and so to the machine or magic. By the last, I intend all use of external plans or devices, apparatus, instead of development of the inherent inner powers or talents, or even the use of these talents with a corrupted motive of dominating, bulldozing the real world, or coercing other wills. The machine is our more obvious modern form, though more closely related to magic than is usually recognized. I have not used magic consistently, and indeed, the elven queen Galadriel is obliged to remonstrate with the hobbits on their confused use of the word, both for the devices and operations of the enemy and for those of the elves. I have not, because there is not a word for the latter, since all human stories have suffered the same confusion. But the elves are there, in my tales, to demonstrate the difference. Their magic is art, delivered from many of its human limitations, more effortless, more quick, more complete, product and vision in unflawed correspondence. And its object is art, not power, subcreation, not domination, and tyrannous reforming of creation. The enemy in successive forms is always naturally concerned with sheer domination, and so the Lord of Magic and machines. But the problem that this frightful evil can and does arise from an apparently good root, the desire to benefit the world and others. End of quote. I guess that Tolkien writes about the fundamental difference between magia, machina, magic, and techne, art. If we try to trace the etymology of the word magic, we will find its oldest mention in the ancient Persian language in the form of magush or magash, pardon my ancient Persian, which perhaps comes from the Proto-Indo-European root mag, which means to be able, to have strength, power. In Sanskrit, Maya means magic or illusion, from Ma, which means measure, magic, binding, fettering. Thus, Maya or magic or illusion ties and binds, measures and limits. The Greek word techne translates into English as craft, art. It's related to creation, making, and comes in its turn from the Proto-Indo-European root tex, which means weave, as well as produce, manufacture. The etymology of the word druid is not related to magic either, but to the concept of knowing and seeing the truth. The most iconic example of the druid-like character in The Lord of the Rings is probably Gandalf, who was one of the Istari, the wise one, not a magician. Does this all mean that the word magic is bad, or being interested in magic and doing it is bad? No, not at all. My point is that the word magic is at least interesting and ambiguous from the etymological point of view. Personally, I'll be more careful using this word. Now to the magic itself. For a long time I've been trying to figure out what the druid magic is. What's this all about? And now I think maybe it's not about magic at all. It's about evolving and transformation, growth and knowledge, craft and art, weaving. It's not about casting spells and fireballs, summoning spirits and deities, violating the laws of nature, manipulating and dominating others. The druid magic is neither magia nor machina. It's techne. It's art. It's a quest for the Awen. Finally, I can formulate this and without hesitation say openly and directly, I don't want to practice magic. And I don't want magic to be the basis for my spiritual path. And now I better understand why. I won't boast that I see and understand everything. I don't. But now I realize why it has become difficult for me to use the word magic in relation to my druidry. This word simply no longer describes what I do and why. Tolkien may have seen through time and space, for he understood the subject so well. That's why his understanding of the essence of magic is so profound and his wizards are so real. What place does magic take in your practice? How has your understanding of magic changed over time? Share your thoughts and ideas in the comments. Thanks for watching. May you find your druid way. Blessed be. Bye.